far the longest experience we've had on the field this fall. Our scrimmages have not been this long, and clearly Kennesaw State is a talented team. I thought they ran some very good arms out there, and I thought the balance and the physicality of some of their offensive players was impressive. I liked the way our guys played. I did. Now, there were clearly some things that we need to shore up, especially the younger guys on the mound have to understand the ability of bringing a secondary pitch that's above average that they can throw in that strike zone and they can expand with. And I thought the reviews on that were very mixed. I thought some of the older arms looked good. I thought Wyatt was loud. I thought the stuff was good. Baumeister was very good. Montgomery's stuff was good. David Barrett's going to help us. Overall, this was a very positive day. I thought the extra base hit was in play, and it needs to be. We struck out too much overall, but the timeliness of some of the hits and being able to run the bases aggressively helped us. Defense was sound. I thought the one ball, the Titan Kamaka, the ground ball kind of bounced up and hit him in the shoulder. That was a tough one. That would have been potentially a double play ball. So all in all, I thought we played fairly well. Now, clearly we have to shore some things up, and I'm not concerned with roles on the mound at this point. I'm concerned with pitch execution and quality of stuff.
What can you learn from exhibitions like these that you can't learn in just days when you're going, garnet and gold versus garnet and gold?
I think the intensity level dials up, and it's hard to inter-squad as often as we have to inter-squad and think that the adrenaline and the intensity is going to be the same as when you have people you don't know in another uniform in the other dugout. It's just different. So you see what it feels like when it's ratcheted up just a little bit, and I think that intensity and focus is better. And there's a scoreboard, there's people in the seats, so some of the young players probably have never played in front of the size crowd that we had today. And this wasn't a huge crowd by any stretch for Dick Howser Stadium, but it was more than some of the young guys have experienced. So I was impressed with just the overall feel I had out here today. I was impressed with as many people that came out to watch it. But you just learn a little bit more. That Bunsen burner heat flames up a little bit more when somebody else is in the other dugout.
You mentioned Titan, he had that ball bounce up on him, hit his shoulder. The next play was hit back to him. He turned that double play. How big was that from the bounce back on that?
Well, it was huge. That inning was on the verge of getting away from us a little bit. And, the momentum when you get the ground ball and you're on the mound, I think, was that Armstrong pitching at that point?
Yes.
Left it? Yeah. Like, you think there's a double play ball, which is going to really shrink what you have to do in terms of damage control. And that thing jumped up on him, and the ball tends to find you. When you're playing out there and something doesn't go your way, it seems like that ball works its way to you again, and clearly it did. And the way they scored, whether it was a pass ball or wild pitch, I don't know, but not being able to contain that ball that got away when they did score the run was a little bit of a deflation in the inning because you felt like you were very close to completely escaping. But Kamaka had a good day. Like, he had some good swings and made some nice plays. So overall, impressive.
After the first 6 innings, you sat with him on the steps and talked to him, and then obviously you had to huddle with him here after the second 6 innings. What are you asking in that setting? What are you trying to get feedback on from them about?
Well, I asked the pitchers to present in a press conference format how they felt about their outing. And make no mistake, when we're in a super regional, hopefully the College World Series, you're going to have to answer to a group of media members, whether it's good or bad, how that outing went. And I want them, especially in these short stints, to really appreciate the importance of every pitch, and then know that when it's over, you're going to have to take us through how you felt, some of the key pitches in the outing, whether they were good or bad, and address it, because some of those guys are out here for 5 or 6 hours and throw 15 or 20 pitches, and that's their day. So I want them to learn the value of each individual pitch and appreciate it and talk about it a little bit, because I think everybody on the team can learn based on what those guys tell them and how it felt. And clearly we know what it looked like, but I like them to reflect on how they felt and what they were seeing as they went through their outings.
What does it tell you when they paint a picture of what they just did, though? That's very vivid and clear.
Well, I like to make sure I'm on the same page with what I see. Sometimes when you're on the side, as this is happening, like we've been standing over there since 1 o'clock, so we're 5 hours in. It's hard to tell from the side, and I haven't been able to look at any of the video, some of those pitches and what you were trying to do with it and what you were thinking. And we're not calling pitches, so sometimes talking through why they threw what they threw, I just like to hear it, and it tells me a little bit about their savvy for the game and even their understanding of their stuff. And it's fun to listen to, and I think it's a good exercise for the kids.
With Carson, like you said, the stuff's obviously there, and it was loud today. I guess, how do you turn that stuff into ground balls finding holes to missing bats?
Yes. Well, we'll work on it. And to be honest, this is the second or third inning I've ever seen him throw. So we need to look at it. We'll dive into the video, and we're collecting metrics every time they throw. So if we find something metrically with how the fastball looks on the TrackMan data, then we'll address it. And clearly it's good stuff, but you wouldn't expect it to be barreled like it was barreled in this outing. Not taking anything away. I told you I thought they were a very, very good team, but we have to get him where he can function and be more off of the barrel of that bat. It's fine if the ball's in play. We're gonna play sound defense. So I like the ball in play, but it's just we grade contact 1, 2, 3, and we just don't like 3. We can live with some 2s, and we love 1s, and we love the ability to punch people out. But for some reason, even in this short outing, it was a lot of 3 contacts for somebody that has the capabilities and the raw stuff.
Cade going off the fence twice, just how good is it to see him use his strength and that, especially that fence, what it's there for? I mean, that's exactly how right-handed. How good is that to
great.
see?
Like he shows up every day and works very hard and goes about his business. He's gotten better at first base. He hammers balls. He's done that in our scrimmages. And it's good to see him step up there and let the ball travel and do that. And then later in the game when we pinch hit and he was up with the bases loaded, I didn't think it was a great matchup for Whedon, our left-handed hitter, and he had a big hit. That was a game-changing hit with the bases loaded because we needed to add. And when you look at these games, it felt like we were in control of the game. That sure helped. But then when you see the way the 6th inning started to unfold, like we're trying to contain like a good performance. And his hit in the second game clearly was a big part of that.
Whedon, I mean, the 2 times in the infield singles, or I guess 1 infield single and almost beat out the other one. Between him and just all the other guys, how much do you like your athleticism right now and the way you guys can kind of create havoc on the base path?
Yeah, we have a group of guys that can run a little bit and spray that thing around, and it weaponizes your offense, and those guys can run the bases. So, but hammering those balls the other way, Williams can do it, Whedon can do it, Ross can do it. That's a weapon. And then the extra base hit was a weapon today too. Like I always talk about if a third of your hits can be extra base hits, you have a chance to score in bunches. And I think overall today that was probably very true. We might have had half of our hits extra base hits. Struck out too much, and some of the guys we're talking about struck out that need to be able to put the ball in play to pressure people. But those guys are good, and they've grown on me because when you're in the cage and you're practicing, sometimes you don't see the raw speed and the way they get out of the box and how the defense reacts to it. So those guys are good.
Do you have more exhibitions planned or still in the works?
I'm trying to drum up one more. It's hard to, when you're not here to set them up previously, it's a little hard to kind of find the right mix. I would like to honestly play on the road so we can experience a home setting timeline pregame and also do it as a visiting team. I'm trying. I'm shooting for November 5th, but I haven't been able to line that up just yet. We're still working on it though.